Hello guys, Axel once again. And this is gonna be a spin-off to my thoughts on Microsoft, but basically early adopters. And it's also gonna be a response to Review Tech USA on his basically talking about early adopters also with his Xbox One video. So for let's just say the new generation who you finally for the first time ever excuse me, finally you're able to buy your first console just to find out, oh crud, there's a better one on the long later on the long run. That sucks. I just wasted money. Well, one, I do feel for you for new generation, and if you ever experience this, I know it's never pleasant. Trust me, I also had this problem because I'm in my 30s right now. I'm gonna tell you that, so that's a hint. I am in my 30s, and I can tell you a story here. This early adoption situation, this has been happening ever since the Atari. Believe it or not, the Atari 2600, and then the 52, and then the 78. Now I was too young for it to know, but I know they had like better version, and people just found out. Oh man, so it sucked because you wasted a lot of money. All right, let's move on a bit. 1985, the 1980s to 1992, the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and people in our time when I was still a kid, I was 12 years old. If you have a Nintendo 8-bit graphic, yeah, so classic, so old, nostalgic, you were the cool kid in the block. So the majority of people bought a Nintendo Entertainment System. So it was the giant square thing. It's a front loader, and you put your games in the front. Here's the deal: 1985, between 1985 and 1985 to 87, excuse me, they only had one SKU, which is the controller set. That's what they call it, or excuse me, the basic set, which came with a controller, two controller, and the control deck. That's what they call it. Then 1989, and then what happened is, I think 1987 to yeah, late 1987 to 1990, Nintendo introduced a new bundle, which is called the Action Set, or basically Nintendo introduced three new SKU, and excuse me, and that came with games with better value. So people who bought it first time said, "Oh, that's not right." Again, early adopters. That's what happened. Especially if you're a college student in the 80s and you bought your Super Nintendo, or excuse me, Nintendo. Yeah. So, again, early adopters always going to pay the price because you're the guinea pig, you're going to try it, and the only trade off is, yippee, I get to play it early. And that's unfortunate because later on in 1992 or 91, can't remember, Nintendo released a new version of an NES, which is the top loader, and it's actually much better. And the controllers are better, and I mean, basic performance, it was better than the front loader. It's less chance of glitching your game because you just put it on top, turn it on, that's it. And the same goes with Super Nintendo. Later on, I think in '96, when the N64 came out, Super Nintendo had a new design and it was a better top loader. And this always happened. And same goes with Genesis. With Genesis, they even had like a new model of the Genesis after the old one, and it's supposed to be better. Same goes with PlayStation. PlayStation came out in 1995, and then in 1998 they introduced PlayStation 1. It's a white one. It's better. It plays newer games, and heck, it even has its own monitor. And now when I think about it, man, I kind of regret not getting that monitor for my PlayStation 1. Well, I can still play it on my PS3, but then I'm stuck in a room rather than play it anywhere. Whatever. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is early adopters, it's always been happening since the 1980s. When video games started with Atari and Nintendo, this is always going to happen. So for my tip to anyone is, even if you're a fan, if you're a big supporter, you really should at least wait 6 months. 6 months. Case in point, Xbox One Kinectless Q for $400. I'm surprised that quick, but the fact is that's what's gonna happen. Another case in point, Wii U. Right? 9 months, a new SKU came out, not even a year, and they did a price drop. Early adopters, again, got the bad end of the stick. It just happened. It happened to me when I bought the PS3. 2 years later, they had a better PS3 that works better. And same goes with Xbox. New Xbox with HDMI output. Better than the original Xbox, who always gets the red ring of death. So early adoption is, again, there is a price to pay. And if you really you don't want to be that victim, my suggestion is wait at least 6 months, but highly suggest a year. Wait for a year when the console first launch, because by then games will come out and there will be better deals, better interface, better update. Heck, that's what I did with the Wii U. I bought it a year later, and I talked about it before. Maybe I'll put it out of this thing in the description box, out of the reference I'm doing. It was better performance than the original Wii U's launch. I didn't have to deal with the update for the Wii mode. It was already in it. Wii mode was already in it. And when the first launch, Nintendo was even saying, "Hey, you might want to put the update because it's gonna take you 2 hours." This time around, nope. 15 minutes, done. That's it. So, in conclusion, it is unfortunate if you're an early adopter and this is your first time feeling, "Oh, I got ripped off because I'm an early adopter." Yes, it happens. It sucks. I feel your pain. But it's always been happening. There is really no right solution. Because the problem is, unless the company will compensate for what you do, most of the majority of company, they're not going to compensate. Yes, we know the 3DS, they did. But Iwata was just trying to be nice, trying to save grace. But the bottom line is, again, early adopters, there's gonna be a price to pay. It is unfortunate. So again, here's my suggestion, and I said it again. I'm gonna say it one last time. Wait at least between 6 months to a year, then make your decision to buy a console. That's all I can say. So with that, I'll see you guys later. And coming soon, I am gonna give you my update, like how do I do, like what am I gonna do for the week of E3. And like I said before, it is gonna be more than before. And also expect my written article on E3 2013, a year later. I give my summary of what happened starting E3 2013 until now. So check that out. So with that, I'll see you guys later. Bye.